published, 8/11 EDT, April 11, 2019, updated, 14:36 EDT, April 11, 2019. Since becoming Britain's Prime Minister nearly 3 years ago, Theresa May has overseen some of the most chaotic political times in UK history. And these photographs show the strain that the turmoil has put the Swiss-born politician under since she took over from David Cameron in July 2016. Mrs May became PM a month after the Brexit vote after serving as Home Secretary from 2010 to 2016, party chairman, Minister for Women and in shadow positions. She admitted in 2013 to sleeping for just 5 or 6 hours a night before she was even PM, almost as little as Margaret Thatcher, who famously needed only 4. And it's likely her time asleep has been even closer to that of Baroness Thatcher since the negotiating period with the EU for leaving began in March 2017. Today, the 62-year-old is facing MPs in the House of Commons after the EU offered the UK a 6-month Brexit delay, pushing the withdrawal date to Halloween. The PM will make a statement after the second extension to the Brexit process, which definitively stopped the clock on a no-deal withdrawal tomorrow. The 6-month extension to October 31 was a compromise thrashed out by EU leaders after the French president dug in against a longer delay lasting into 2020. Theresa May becomes an MP for the first time in May 1997 after being elected in Maidenhead. Mrs May waves in Blackpool in October 1999 when she was Shadow Secretary for Education. Mrs May arrives at Tory headquarters in London in October 2003 while party chairman Theresa May addresses staff at the Home Office in May 2010 after becoming Home Secretary in Manchester in September 2013 when Mrs May was Home Secretary and Minister for Women. Mrs May is pictured arriving at Downing Street in London for a Cobra meeting in June 2015. Mrs May with husband Philip at Downing Street in June 2016 after becoming Prime Minister. Mrs May leaves Downing Street in Westminster on her way to Parliament in February 2017. Mrs May speaks at the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham in October last year. Mrs May holds a press conference in Brussels early this morning after the EU Brexit summit. Mrs May speaks to reporters in Brussels yesterday ahead of the crunchy EU Brexit summit. David Cameron is pictured taking over as Prime Minister in May 2010, left, and then announcing his intention to step down at Downing Street 6 years later in July 2016, right. US President Barack Obama is pictured at his inauguration ceremony in Washington in January 2009, left, and waving after his